situation for you, first defeat?
Yeah, it doesn't feel great. I think a big learning game against a very physical, well-organized, aggressive, good defending Australia. So we had a lot of possession, but creating lots of. Well, we did create some, but we struggled to speed up the game, to go forward and stretch them. So we really wanted to get more behind the defense, have runs behind and switch plays, so we could let them run a little more. But we didn't do that great. We made some mistakes where they became dangerous, so the counter-attack was very dangerous. And of course, their first goal was a mistake of us, which can happen. And in the second half, I think we started pretty good. Then they had this counter-attack where we, in possession, we weren't tight enough, made a mistake, and they had the counter-attack. So, yeah, that made it hard for us. And I think still that we can expect lots of. We play against some opponents now that they drop a little deeper. They play really tight, so we have to make the game. And this is a very good physical team. And so we have to find solutions and find a way to create more to score goals.
Is that a reality check that can be quite helpful? Leah said, I think, to television that it might get some fire in the belly for the players. Is that going to be valuable now, having a defeat to bounce back?
Yeah, well, I hoped for not having defeat and still have those messages, because I think the score not always. We want to win, but even when we have wins, we take out things of the game, good things, but also things to learn. And we had some games where we were struggling with this a little bit too. So we just want to move forward, and we have, we don't see each other for a while now, but then we go into training camp, and we'll have some moments to get some training sessions on that too. What we're already doing, of course.
Thanks, Tom. We'll go to Emma.
Yeah, hi, Sarina.
Hi.
We've obviously been speaking a lot sort of about the Euros when you had the super subs, I guess, coming on and having the impact. Obviously tonight you were held back a little bit by injuries, but is that maybe a bit more of a challenge now going forward, that because obviously you haven't got the likes of Ellen White and Jill Scott around like you had in the Euros, that the options off the bench are perhaps slightly less than what you maybe had at the Euros in terms of making that instant impact?
Yeah, well, of course we want to create that, and I think we still have depth in the team. But now, yes, there was a little more players now that were not available if you compare it. But we don't want to compare now because we're moving on. We're going to a World Cup, and yes, we're trying to think, okay, what could be a possible starting lineup. And first, still now to go back to club, they have very important games. So hope everyone at the end comes out fit. So we have to make those choices. And then we're thinking about starting lineup. We're thinking about what do we. If we have to change, who can impact the game, and trying to in what scenarios could we use these and these players and they can impact the game. So we're working on that, and we'll see what brings that, what brings us that, what it brings us.
Sarina, could I ask what you think about this Australian team? They're obviously co-hosts. Are they realistic contenders to win the World Cup?
I think they have some ingredients that are really good. So what you see, there's a very strong team. They do have some injuries too. And I think, what helped them now, like we play a lot on their side of the pitch. So that really helps us so we really have to be tight on the ball and precise. Because if we lose it, there's space behind our defense. And then they have some players that are really quick and very good. And they can harm us. And that's the same with other teams. They will play against. So yes, and they're aggressive. They're tight. They're today in the Artbucks. They were good with the headers. So I think there are many teams that could win the World Cup. That makes it very exciting too. I think Australia is one of them.
Thanks. We'll go to Charlotte at The Athletic.
Hi, Sarina. You said to television that England was slow in possession. You needed to create more, and you were lacking energy. Why is that?
Well, I don't know. Well, lacking energy, that doesn't give any information about how we play. So it looks like lack of energy. We just said we want to speed up the ball tempo. We want to go forward quicker. But then you also need runs in behind, because there was not very much space in the center of the pitch because they were really tight. So then you try to stretch them and you try to create things, and then you need more players that move, run behind, some come in the pocket. Then we had to change, switch play a lot more than we did. Then you speed up the game. And but sometimes we were playing and then we lost it too quick. Sometimes it looks like it's not energetic enough. But we bring it back to talking about football.
And two, just tactical, why did you bring Esme Morgan in at centre-back, given her limited game time at City? And Rachel Daly at number 10, was that in order to create more? I would have thought that she maybe would have partnered Russo up top or replaced Russo as a number 9.
No, we had to score goals. And then you want what we wanted to create more. We needed also power because I think we lost too much duels and second balls. And Rachel, you know, she's on the way too. So we thought if she gets closer to Alessia, and also when then we have crosses, we have some opportunities to head to. So that's why we brought it, and we wanted to see that too. Is that an option that she comes from that position, have the runs behind, but also win some duels there?
And the choice for Esme Morgan to start?
I think she's a very talented, good centre back, and I wanted to see that.
Thanks, Charlotte. We'll go to Faye, please.
Hi, Sarina. Are you worried at all about the loss of momentum going into the World Cup, or actually is a defeat like this helpful going into the tournament?
Yeah, I'm not worried. I don't worry very quickly. I think no, for we know we have to be at our top level, and that's when we go into the World Cup too. So every game we get some warnings. Against Brazil we got some warnings, and then at the end we win the Finalissima. The same with I think Czech. We tried. We had to create a little more too. So then we get warnings too. So we know where we want to go to and what we have to do, and this is a moment. I don't think we're losing momentum. I think it's building. It's 100 days to go, and everyone's really excited to go to Australia, and this is just a very big learning moment for us that we need to get to a higher level to win these games.
Thanks, Faye. Time for 3 more questions. We'll go to Dan, Molly, then Simon. Dan.
I just went to ask where your thinking is now with the squad for the World Cup. Obviously, April camp's done. I suppose how many players are you maybe still not sure about, and how many spaces do you think are still kind of up for competition, I suppose, in the next few months?
Yeah, well, I think, of course, it's too early to talk about. Of course, you've seen how the squad has developed or what players were brought in many times. It's also the availability of players. So many matches to go to still, so I wouldn't give any information about that. We just keep following our players and hope they play a lot to stay fit, and they play at a very high level, so they make us make very hard choices.
Thanks, Dan. Molly.
We've all probably spent quite a lot.
Sorry?
We've all probably spent quite
Okay.
a lot of time talking about this 30-game unbeaten run. Are you that bothered about it? I get the impression probably not, but also psychologically, what does it do to maybe almost relieve some of that pressure, that it's not this constant running unbeaten thing that's sort of hanging over you?
Well, yeah, I haven't been focused on that at all. We just want to win every next game, and yes, you remind us on it all the time, but we don't talk about that in our camp. We talk about the next game, and that we want to improve every game and try to adapt to the opponent who's in front of us, and try to bring our qualities on the pitch. And yes, it would be really nice to have the 31st win. I would love that too, but sometimes you win and sometimes you lose.
Thanks, Molly. We'll finish with Simon.
And I hope we win a lot, of course.
Are you able to give any sort of time frame on Millie and Fran? Is there any concern about them in the tournament?
Yeah, I'm not that concerned about Millie. I think the expectation is that she will still come back and play. With Fran, I'm a little more concerned. So I hope she's assessed at the club. She's progressing, and we're just following it that really closely. And hopefully she can progress quickly, so we can see her on the pitch.
And you've got this sort of target on your back now. You're going to Australia as the European players can expect England to have more on at the World Cup, because teams now show you the respect that they don't press you and drop off.
Yeah, I think we have seen that before already after the Euros in some other games, that some teams drop and they try to be really tight. So, and yeah, as I just said, we really have to find a way to create 10 chances. We've done that in some games really well, and in some games we haven't done that really well, and we just want to keep improving on that.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.